Well, this February, 9 unsuspecting 20-somethings were enticed with the promise of a tropical holiday as part of a reality show. Instead, they were enlisted to help build a community hall in a Central American country. The result is called the Project Guatemala. The show's finale goes tonight on City. Host Ray Zahab joins us live from Toronto to give us a preview. Good morning, Ray.
Good morning to you.
Let's talk about the cast of this show. There are people who had relatively cushy jobs. They didn't get what they bargained for. How did they respond?
Well, you know, it was amazing. When I first met them, I wasn't sure what the response was going to be. You know, here they were expecting to go on, you know, quote-unquote trip of a lifetime. There was no, you know, secrecy involved. It was just, hey, this could be a life-altering trip of a lifetime. And so when they get there and they realize that our definition of a life-altering trip of a lifetime is something completely different, building a children's project for Project Somos in Guatemala, you know, all bets were off. And I thought, wow, there's just no way this is going to work out. But over the course of the entire 6-7 weeks that we were in Guatemala, there was this dramatic shift in who they were. In the beginning was something completely different than who they were in the end. I mean, they contributed to building a community hall for Project Somos. That alone was incredible, but to see them evolve and become who they are now, I'm in touch with many of them now, and it's amazing to see some of the things they're doing in their lives. So it was a great experience all around, and especially for me, a great learning experience.
Well, and you're somebody who's turned your life around through sort of exploring the world, so it had to be even more touching because of your personal experiences.
You know, you're right. I operate an organization called Impossible to Possible. It's a youth-based organization where, at no cost, I take young people on expeditions, running expeditions all over the world, and we combine it with educational material, and it's broadcast to thousands of students. The entire program's free, right? And so I'm surrounded by amazing young people all the time. And this idea for doing this and wanting to work with young people came from a run across the Sahara that I did. I ran 111 days across the Sahara Desert in 2006, 2007. And I learned incredible things, not only about the people of North Africa, of which I never would have learned unless I did the expedition, but also I learned amazing things about myself, and that being that we're all capable of doing extraordinary things in our lives. So when the Project Guatemala came up and the producers contacted me and said, hey, would you be interested in doing this? I thought, well, you know, at first no, and then yes, and then when I arrived there, I was like, wow, what have I got myself into? And then by the end, this capacity that we were able to share and work with each other throughout the entire season of the project, by the end, I was so glad I did it. I was so glad I got to meet them and share some of the experiences I had in the change that I went through from pack-a-day smoker to pack-a-day smoker to guy who eventually runs across the Sahara, you know?
Well, let's talk about some of the challenges, some of the things that were asked of these contestants throughout the season.
Yeah, you know, and it's funny, I call them participants rather than contestants, and you know, people ask me, well, why? And I said, because, you know, really this was about them. It's about each one of them as individuals, whether they saw it or not in the beginning. And I mean, it was rough. I mean, if you've been watching, you know, I warned my friends, this is not going to be easy to watch because it's real. This is really who they were. You know, I think some of the more difficult challenges for them were, this is a group of young people that when they first got there, their lives are themselves. They're completely introverted, and so to be exposed to a completely different culture and not know at all about how to be sensitive in a new culture or even how to adapt to being in this new place, I think was very challenging for them. And then over time, you know, they learned and then adapted, and with their Guatemalan teammates who they were building this project with, they became much more sensitive. It was incredible to see that transition, but also the adventure challenges were different. This is a group of kids that would never go out and do any of the things like rappel off a 100-foot waterfall or, you know, go swimming in the water, fishing, you know, just all sorts of things that they were put up to. But they stuck to it, and they got through every single one of them.
They got through, and you can see how Project Guatemala turns out tonight at 8 o'clock right here on City. Ray, congratulations. It's very exciting. Nice to see you.
Thank you so much, and I'm asking everybody to go to projectsomos.org to support the Project Somos Children's Village.
Absolutely. We'll make sure we put links on our website, breakfasttelevision.ca. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too.